Hey everyone, it's Carl and I'm on a side quest. What I mean by that is I was originally working on my software engineering assignment when I realized that how do I systematically record user interviews? So I went to Notion, looked for templates. Unfortunately, a lot of them are bloated and overcomplicated. So my solution to that is, well, I made one. This is my straightforward user interview template. You can see from the title alone that it's very straightforward, but it packs a lot of information via the properties. Interview stage. When was this conducted? Was it conducted when we were still conceptualizing high level design decisions? Or was it on the mid cycle section where navigation is what matters here? Everything's pretty ugly, but how's ease of use? Does it get the job done? And lastly, late stage. Would you tell your friend about it? Or what are some other minor refinements we could do? Next property is app version. This one's pretty interesting because the way I approach versioning within my team is, you know how in GitHub you can look at past commits? And within those past commits in the commit history, there's a button where you can see the version, the tree, or the whole file directory of the app during that specific commit, that specific moment in time. So I took advantage of that and just put that in a property here where we could easily access it if you ever wanted to roll back as a team. Straightforward details for the rest. And here is something I find valuable. Don't you want to just have information received at a glance? See if it's worth reading the whole thing or maybe not. I was looking for another interview. So that's what this line achieves. And if they do decide that it's worth looking into, set expectations. Here's what this document contains. Now let's actually go through each one of them. The goal here is to keep it as simple as possible. What was the interview goal? Assess usability, for example. Something as easy as that because nobody wants to read through. Our attention spans are just decreasing by the day. Focus areas. For example, testing user satisfaction with provided feedback. We're building an app that uses AI to give feedback to students. Interview questions and response. The emphasis here is on the key questions and key responses. I even added a little button to create a new sets of question and response. Next is key takeaways, major insights, usability feedback, areas for improvement. Feedback to the overall structure, by the way, is invited because one might be wondering, why is this here? Well, this one I believe would be more so devs, and this one over here would be more so for the general public, the general stakeholders. And sure, after you just finish the meeting, you need a break. And so once you actually finish taking that break, you're gonna be overwhelmed with like, oh, now I have to put these tasks into epics and corresponding sprints. It's gonna be a hassle. So to mitigate that feeling, I've made next steps and turned it into simple to-do blocks, a simple checklist. But if you really want to know how the interview went, there's an appendix to the interview transcripts or notes, and maybe even visuals or the recorded video if you do that. But in any case, at the end of the day, we want something that is easily digestible. So that's what I tried to do. And if you think this helps you, I've added a link below, or I'm submitting this template to Notion. It's my first template ever. So I hope it gets submitted. If not, I just hope people find it useful. Okay, story time. Why did I do this? Well, you see, I've been playing around with that viral prompt with ChatGPT. Tell me something about myself via memory. Kind of creepy, but cool. My ego is boosted. Now, how about stuff I can work on? Well, I apparently needed to be less deeply focused on the work itself and more on promotions because, hey, as somebody looking for internships, how do they know you exist without your social presence? And it also reminded me of a conversation from a good friend. They've talked to me how kindness is generative. So I'm also gonna take this little moment in the web, in your doom scrolling, and ask you to do something nice for, I don't know, a person you care for. That's that. I hope you find it useful.